Hey everyone, welcome back to a video. So after going hands-on with the Switch 2, this is kind of like my verdict on the hardware itself, on what I think of it, and also think about the early life of the Switch 2 as a whole. So, especially with Mario Kart, I'll get into that later. But let's get started then, shall we? I just want to show you what the box looks like and how it is. So basically, once you open up the box, bam, right there, you get greeted to the screen and the two Joy-Cons, which led into the GameStop story of where one particular GameStop somewhere in the US, they stapled people's receipts to the box, and it ended up puncturing the screen. So, and GameStop put out a statement saying that they're gonna rectify those who are affected by it, which is cool and all, but why did you staple the receipt to the box? Anyway, moving on from that. So nothing too special with the box itself, but it's just clean, simple. I like it. But let's continue, shall we? Now this is the actual hardware itself. You know, preferably the handheld, obviously, which is the main screen, 7.9 inches, and I gotta say, I like the overall design. It looks more modern. It looks more like it was made for adults, I guess, if that makes sense. I think it's their best built system to date, maybe since the Wii or the DS. I mean, I like the design of the original Switch, but not gonna lie though, especially with how flimsy the kickstand is, I was never a fan of the kickstand at all. But with the Switch 2, I like it. I like the kickstand. It's a whole lot better. It was a massive upgrade. If you've used the original Switch with the kickstand and tabletop mode, you wouldn't know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. It is so freaking bad, dude. And yep, just taking apart the Joy-Cons, so that's kind of how it all works. And later on, I'll show you how to put them back on. See, because at the end, there's a little button, and yeah, there you go. There's your two Joy-Cons, and that's the hardware. That's what the system looks like without the Joy-Cons attached to it, so there you go. But yeah, overall, I like the design of the console. I think it's pretty well made, honestly. But I think, even though continuing, this is the dock. So as you can see here, like there's like little on top of the Switch 2. You didn't see it, but there's actually actual fans, so it has actual cooling inside the dock, which is pretty nice. You also have the the USB ports on the side too, much like the Switch 1. This one's dock, but I will say this: you cannot use the dock, your Switch 2 dock with your Switch 1. You have to have the Switch 2 inside the Switch 2 dock for it to work, which makes sense. More capable hardware, plus the Switch 2 dock can output 4K, which the Switch 1 cannot do 4K at all. Because the max resolution of the Switch 1 is 1080p, as we all know. But yeah, other than that, the dock, it's pretty nice. I like the design of the dock. I like it. Continuing. This is, if you want to see a comparison between the Switch 1 and Switch 2, here you go. And as you can see here, it started right off the bat with how to attach the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, and it's simple, it's magnetic, which is kind of nice. You don't have to essentially just slide it like you would with the Switch 1, as you're about to see here. As you can see, Switch 1, there you go. Come on, if you own a Switch 1, you know how to do it. Like, it's pretty obvious, but yeah, I mean, nothing too. By comparing the two, I had no idea just how massive an upgrade that Switch 2 screen is. It's kind of crazy just how huge the difference in terms of screen size. It's Joy-Con size too is actually bigger too. Like, you could definitely tell the difference. I had no idea just how big it would be until I actually saw it in person myself. Like the trailers and all that. I think they did the screen a disservice with how much bigger the screen actually is, if you want to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, now let's actually talk about some games then, shall we? So this is me kind of messing around with Mario Kart World. And Mario Kart World wasn't the only game I tested. I've tested also the Switch 1 version of Doom Eternal, where I also tested Doom 2016 as well. And in those two games alone, the reason I used those games specifically to test Switch 1 games is because those games are at 30 FPS. It even had some frame dips. For those who don't know, those games specifically were some of them that had frame dips, not too egregious, but immediately what I've noticed, immediately from the get-go, is that where the games actually run consistently 30 FPS now, which is a huge upgrade. Sure, yes, the resolution is still what it was, which is 720p, but I think the resolution is now 720p full stop. due to the boost in hardware. Like, Nintendo, honestly, I think they undersold the backwards compatibility of the Switch 2, because there's other games, like, where I've seen people post, like, where Bayonetta 3 is now at a full stop 60 FPS, among others. So I definitely feel Nintendo, they undersold the backwards compatibility, which is pretty nice. There's also free updates like Mario Odyssey, where that's, full on HDR now, which is really cool. I've also tested Mario Maker 2. I haven't played online, so I have not been able to fully test how online multiplayer works for the Switch 2 now that it's improved in that. Maybe something I'll have to test with at some point, but other than that though, yeah, like, I like the Switch 2. Now for Mario Kart. Is it worth the $80? No. Is it fun? Yes. I've been having a hell of a time with it. Do I think it's worth $80 like I just said? No. No way. No video game should be worth $80, especially in this day and age. Whereas most games are like loaded with microtransactions and all that, but that's besides the point. Mario Kart 8, no, excuse me, Mario Kart World, I got the two games mixed up. But yeah, it's not worth $80, so it should have been $60. Not even $70. It should have been $60, honestly. But I bought it for I got it really for $50 because I bought the bundle. That's the whole reason, because I wanted to save money on it, which is what I did. So, yeah. Overall, I think the Switch 2, the Switch 2 system itself, is it worth the $450? Yes. Absolutely. Especially if you're a Nintendo fan who is looking forward to the future of the Switch hardware line. Yes, the Switch 2 is absolutely worth it. And if you don't upgrade right away, Nintendo's still making games for the Switch 1. So, if you're not in too much of a hurry, rush until like a game that you really want, then I think you should upgrade if you're willing to wait out until then. So, like for instance, you got the new 3D Donkey Kong coming out next month, and then later in the year, there's a Nintendo Switch game that I'm really looking forward to, which is Metroid Prime 4. I'm definitely getting the Switch 2 version of that bad boy, especially considering it's going to be 120 hertz. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to play that game, because it's been so long since we had a mainline Metroid Prime game outside of ports and remasters. It's been so freaking long. And about time. Now we get a new Metroid Prime. I've been looking forward to that game for a long time, and it's finally coming out this year. Probably in the fall, probably. So that's definitely a game I'm looking forward to. And obviously there's going to be the inevitable 3D Mario, maybe next year. I guess we'll see what Nintendo does to do for the 40th anniversary of Mario, if they do anything. So we'll see though. Any other game? Let's see. I know there's like other games I could have gotten, which is like Cyberpunk 2077. I heard that port is pretty damn good, despite it being 30 FPS. I heard it's pretty darn good for what the Switch 2 can do. So that's gonna be interesting. I also could have gotten that Sonic X Shadow Generations port that they did for the Switch 2. Which, by the way, Sega, you should have offered an upgrade path for people who bought on Switch 1. You should have. Don't know why you're being greedy like that. When even WB, who people have been shitting on recently, did the right thing by offering an upgrade path for Hogwarts Legacy. Why couldn't you, Sega? Anyway. But overall, I think the Switch 2 hardware is worth the asking price. And if the tariffs come back, if you want to jump on it, I would do it now. So that if you truly want it, if you're willing to hold out until more games come out, just wait. Okay? Because the only true new first-party exclusive from Nintendo is Mario Kart. And I've already talked about it, how I think it's not worth the $80 they're asking for. Because other than that, though, it's been just third-party ports of older games that are just now coming to Nintendo's platform, like Street Fighter 6 and Cyberpunk. But other than that, though, that's kind of all I have to say on the Switch 2 at this point. So yes, it is worth it for what you're getting. But the games, that's definitely up for debate, especially with Mario Kart. But that's all I gotta say on this. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the Switch 2 if you've gotten your hands on it? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, hit the like button and consider hitting that sub button so you do not miss any more videos. And I'll see you on the next one. Till then, have a good one.